a visa-free waiver agreement with the Republic of South Africa. The time has come and the time is now that you suspend that kind of visa-free waiver agreement we have with South Africa. At least that signal must go.
We have something that the rest of Africans envy. South African youth don't have skills at all. They don't know who is their uncle. Nobody talks to them. They do anything anyhow. And then of course if drug is infested, it's even worse. When you are outside this continent, they don't call you Ghanaian or South African or Tanzanian. They call you African.
We are citizens of Ghana, all of us. And as citizens alike, we have a common vision to want to build a country comparable to one of the best in the world, if not the best at all, like Nkrumah was heated. We have noticed with recent growth the kind of negative wave that is xenophobia, you know, being advanced by some youth of South Africa have caught for the rest of Africa. And we have also noticed how some of our people who are Ghanaians have been brutally, for want of better words, physically assaulted. And we thought that it is quite important that we don't get loud in our silence. Ghanaians or Ghanaian youth are a breed of people who are rooted in culture. You have trained us to be respectful. However, there are times that we also have to make a point to prove to the international world that it's not as if there are shortage of men or youth in Ghana, but it's because of the kind of respect we have for our leaders. It's obvious that if the likes of Jacinta and her cohorts respected their leadership, maybe they would have picked a different trajectory. But from all indications, it does appear that even the leadership have lost touch with the citizenry. And maybe because elections is fast approaching, and so politically Ramaphosa is being careful. It makes him a weak leader in ways. I'm hearing that he has sent some envoys to some African nations that he doesn't want the rest of Africa to cut bilateral ties with South Africa. Until when? But that was afterthought. In the full glare of security officials, our people were brutalized. But let me pause here to say that with a collective voice, we want to firstly commend, especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, your able self and Minister in charge, Honorable Kujuta Black, for that kind of swiftness, especially with which you were able to bring back our compatriots.
Okay.
I am an NDC, some are NPP, and we're deliberate. We decided to get different political parties together so that we sing a common frontal song. The point we are making is that we have other countries who is taking them almost forever to go and, you know, find evacuation measures before they can get their people evacuated. And I'm even learning that there are some foreign ministers that are even calling on you to learn from you how you're able to do it. So all in all, we thank you that you have elevated once again the good image of Ghana. Beyond that, I'm sure that we cannot live here without touching on how you have championed reparations and the fact that it has also given Ghana another step in the international community. So all in all, we thought around all this and decided to engage on a non-violent protest. Non-violent protest in tandem with your position and image you have built. We could have gone gaga or haywire like the youth of South Africa. Maybe we could have done well. Of course, 1948 riot is a living example of the Ghanaian spirit and the fact that when it gets to the brim, it's uncontrollable sometimes. But we thought that we come from a more civilized society. So we decided to approach civility, and I've said that there's a reason why Ghana was first to have regained independence in the first African sub-Saharan nation, and why South Africa perhaps may have been the last on the continent. So our approach certainly must be different from them. Na fe adwuma na moye no anko se ye mabunu no yasem entiene ohwa ye de oye kire egua kwanso ye the Minister of Lands krata komano a ye chen se South Africa for no pamo yen mabunu no se omumra wonkro yi mu omu nyuma ni bi won so ma dia moso na ye kai kese pa ye takwa mines ye ka kire aban wi ye ka ho a ye de won ba ye se ye nim set takwa mines omu a contract omni Ghana won ebeso 2027 eso amu renew ye mpe Ghana for capable hands ye bugo obi din heat go fields Ibrahim Mahama engineers and plan akufa do kra mo fema no better since ye do ma South Africa ni send ye be ya sebi sika no ebeka kuruma na South Africa fo ambo yen amra yen so nimum mi ntia ye ho kese pa anya no esanse ha no nye ministra ehwensa ase ene efo magudie so ye ho no mesanse we know that you have a visa-free waiver agreement with the Republic of South Africa, and as youth of Ghana, as their leadership, respectfully, we are putting before you that the time has come and the time is now that you suspend that kind of visa-free waiver agreement we have with South Africa. At least that signal must go. If possible, tighten that kind of diplomacy so that open visa-free South Africa, Ghana, it should be like open visa-free Ghana, United States of America. They shouldn't take us for granted. Coming compared to South Africa. Unfortunately, we do not believe in ourselves as Ghanaians, and that is why we have gotten to this level. So, sir, we are here to present. Of course, I'm not going to read the dictate of this because it is much said, you know, in what I have posited already. But in here are some of the reliefs that we are seeking from government through this very responsible ministry. So we are here to do that presentation to you and to give you a petition so that you know our stance as an alliance group, and maybe also let you know that this is a smaller group because the engagement we have with the police, the intelligence they picked was that if we were to do a mass protest, maybe it could get out of hand. Yeah. And as responsible as we could, I mean, we have to listen, we have to badge, not that we're happy. But maybe, perhaps if the leadership of this country respectfully doesn't want to listen to us, but maybe we can bring the whole Ghana on the streets. But for now, we are engaging civility, and that is why we came there. We present this to you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we can keep it that,
yes,
as you said, it's confidential. So
that's right.
I'll keep it in the package, and the ministry will look at it, headed by the principal minister. Okay. First, I'd like to also thank all of you for your resilience, patience. I know you are, all of you, I would say, youth, mostly. When we say youth, it's up to about 37, 40. So, you have every right and every reason to feel the way you feel. But as we all advance in age, sometimes we develop a little bit more of, I would say, deep thinking of issues. I'm saying this because Ghana, as you express yourself, has led Black Africa, whether it's independence, freedom, everything. Right now, as we sit here, I think if you look at the policies of this new administration, we are putting measures in place that I pray that by 2-3 years, they will see Ghana as the economic hub for again Africa.
Right.
And that's our biggest mandate. In that sense, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, no Ghanaian will wish even to travel, because you'll find everything here. But one thing we shouldn't forget, as people of this color, is no matter what, we have to protect one another. I'm saying this is very important. When we talk about Pan-Africanism, you mentioned Nkrumah's name briefly. This is what they fought for. Secretary, Jomo Kenyatta, Mandela himself, while he was in jail for 26 or 27 years before he came and liberated his people. This is not a Mandela South African you are seeing today. Myself sitting here, I lived in Canada for 42 years. Despite all the successes in human development, I didn't feel I was at home. Yeah, you create family, you go, you gain assets and everything. But you feel your humanity in your own community. I'm not going to go and learn, but I want to just put something little for you to go back, you the leaders of your groups, right? To think through that, yes, my brother has offended me. He underestimated me. He wanted to rob my dignity. Sometimes in life, the person who is attacking you truly needs your help. People don't go after others for no reason. They see success in you. Rather than coming down and asking, my brother, how did you make it? How did you create your barber shop? How did you get your hairdresser? You see, you mentioned Ghanaians. We had this advantage. South African youth don't have skills at all. I've never lived there, but I read on them. They have no skills. If you look at our Ghanaian culture, if you have two sisters, two brothers, or whatever at home, maybe one able to go to secondary school and pursue, the other one who couldn't make it, the mother or father will say, go and learn hairdressing, go and learn sewing. The guy, they say, go and learn mechanic. Such as it. They don't have that cohesive families. Or someone says, uncle, like they are coming from post-apartheid. It's almost like, excuse me to say, the black Americans, even though they live on the continent of Africa. Go to Chicago, if you go to New York, you will see these behaviors. They don't know who is their uncle. Nobody talks to them. They do anything anyhow. And then, of course, if drug is infested, it's even worse. So they take the weakest link and treat them like that. And then there's also those cheap politicians. If they don't have nothing to offer you, then they'll give you an alternative that your job has been taken by this one. But that job was not even offered to that person. Or not creating a job. Not just somebody who has traveled all the way from Ghana or Nigeria and gone there, sometimes even with little or nothing, is able to find a way to build a kiosk and start a barbering shop or get a hairdressing going. They cannot do that. To me, I just want to say this afternoon that, I really applaud you guys for what you've got a lot of vision, but you don't pay your enemy what they say. To me, they are not even enemies. When they came, I told the last group that came, I told them, I said, you know what, these people are crying for help. They need our help. And sometimes when you are fronting something better, there are negative forces behind it. Recently, President Mahama, all of us were with him at the UN. We tabled this resolution. The West are looking at it, that, this time again, Africans are going to be trying to rally themselves together like our forefathers did in the 60s, Nkrumah and those guys. They will find a way to dismantle it, and they're always going to use your own people to dismantle it. When they overthrew Nkrumah, they didn't bring strangers from outside, they used our own people to dismantle it. When they took Haile Selassie out of Ethiopia, they used their own people. So we should be very mindful of that. Tonight, I just want to talk a little bit of wisdom to you guys. We should be very, very mindful. Try and educate your people about some of these things. They are going to do anything possible. Next year, President Mahama is going to be the chair of the African Union. How do you formulate African Union and say how many states we have in Africa?
54.
54. And then we say the African Union we have is 54 minus 1. They will laugh at us. Do you understand? So we have a responsibility to help South Africa reshape their destiny. This is not what Mandela asked for. They've had some unfortunate bad leaders. Ghana, we have gone through our own share of bad leaders. But one thing that holds us very, very civil is about our traditional institutions. Every village, every town has a queen, has a king. So even where you don't have the police force in your community, you respect the king, you respect it. This is what has transformed us to what we are. These guys don't have that. So let's, I've taken this. I'm sure you have your own copy. The tit for tat is not going to help us. We are trying to build an African empire. The US, they had their own fight. The North and the South, they fought. A lot of people died before they were able to unite the United States of Africa for 42 nations. Even when Mandela came, the Zululand wanted to separate themselves. He says, no. We want African unity. Now you are going to move yourself away? Where do we start? All these guys eventually have to be whipped into line. There's a lot of things we have to learn. Let's get reality. I know you're a very conscious group of people. That is why I'm trying to even go a little bit deeper. I would have just taken this envelope and said thank you for responding. But you have educated me, so I'm also going to try to educate you a little. Like when you are outside this continent, they don't call you Ghanaian or South African or Tanzanian. They call you African. Do you understand? So what am I going to say? I'm this African and not that African. Even Nigerians, because they've given them this bad connotation, sometimes when they break it down, after they say you're African, I say, which part of Africa are you? Ghana, Nigeria. Nigeria was Ghana. He's seeking something positive for himself. So it's bent, but it's not falling yet. Let's help them to fix it. The leaders are not smart enough, as you say. Ramaphosa, he's trying everything to try to do damage control, but it's not working. He didn't handle it properly. As you said, maybe it's election. Are you going to forfeit your own African life for your vote? Your presidency is more important than the person that is killed. No human being's life is less than any position in this world. I don't care whether you're a king or whatever. But that is what it has reduced to. And those youth who did the rampage and the assault are going to eventually learn and regret, because they're not going to get anything out of it. The shop your brother left there, I even made a joke there. If you give the scissors to another South African to go and get a barber, they won't have a crop of here. Oh, no, they were higher with church. The South African women, there's a South African, what do you call it, a hairdresser, Nigerian hairdresser, Ghanaian hairdresser. They'll go to the Ghanaian hairdresser, their own South African. They won't go to the South African. Also, they start, come on. Yeah, we have something that the rest of Africans envy. Seriously. Since I got this position, I've been traveling. And I've been meeting our counterparts, African counterparts. Just a mere sense that you're from Ghana, they see something special they hear about you, even when you have not spoken. So let's hold on to that, because we have become almost like the ambassadors for Ghana, for Africa. So if we are going to take our brothers out and say they have offended us, so we don't want to do anything with them. Imagine not working with a South African mining company, but you are working with some Arab mining company, you are working with some European mining company. And they ask you your argument is because South Africa disrespected us and treated us bad. Who has treated us bad more than the Europeans? Go and visit Cape Coast, where they kept human beings in chain. Right? When you are sick on the boat, they take you and throw you over the ocean. You are like a piece of, they call that transatlantic route. It's a barrier route. Millions of people, Africans, were dumped into it. Lost their lives. your uncles, our great uncles, our great, who knows, some of our family members. But today we still according them because why? We want peace and harmony. Our very enemies, we are sitting at table with them. And that's exactly the reaction that our enemies are looking from us. Not just because the Indians are there, the Chinese are there, the Europeans are there. They didn't go and attack. They instigate that they attack their own kind. And then your own kind is also going to reciprocate. Somebody has to be, so think about it. You all think about it. That's all I can say. Thank you.
No, I think that we are grateful for the kind words and words of wisdom on the account of the mining related matter. I think our proposition was that if the lease is not renewed, it should be given to a Ghanaian who has equal capacity. So of course, I'm a Pan-Africanist myself.
Thank you.
And same as brother. So we appreciate where you are coming from. And we're even telling them that in 1963, when the 32 heads of state met in Ethiopia, Nkrumah mentioned how we should liberate South Africa from apartheid. So of course, we will not be a new generation to destroy what our forefathers bequeathed unto you, that you will bequeath unto us. But we were thinking that at least it must stop somewhere. Because look, this xenophobia thing, 2008, 2050, they've been consistent, and Africa is silent. I don't know if there is anything called African Union. I don't know if there's anything like that. But if there is, what have they been able to do to South Africa? So if we say that in the name of diplomacy, and of course, Honorable couldn't have said anything different because we are in the hub of diplomacy. This is foreign affairs. So I understand where you're coming from. But if in the name of diplomacy, our people will be subjected to excruciating pains and inhumane treatment, and we are not able to make a bold statement thinking that because we want Africa's unity, they must continue to live in their folly. I get worried a bit. So in as much as we take 99% of all that wisdom we have shared, the only 1% is that we must make a bold statement.
Very good. Yeah.
It's not say a besa, but sometimes Bible say so one tia bajimi fo ubunini so nyansafo. Look, South African government in country say almost shase anka police fo nyina ho ma ye munkrofo no ma yedin. Na Ghana ye de ye pe honhom ye de ye pe ye ho asem na de bia ye koso boye nkrofo papa eno na ye a eha no ti no mi aka nyina yafa but ye besere minim say o ka nyina kwa kosi ase asem ye de agba yi so ba papa ye besere say
in radio
aba besere say mo hwe ho asem enkamai na no ye catch him say diplomacy no and that is so can say what is it, abrogates visa waiver. I was telling them, no, it goes through channel of bureaucracies. We understand that, the systems and all those ones. And because Ghana, I'm a leading Pan-Africanism, pre-Africa unity, we don't want to be that country. Because but me person say say you more yen microphone. I don't know though. The Papa say no. We are very peaceful. So I indicate it's not as if this guy here, you know this guy. He stands for his rights. This guy, he stands for his rights. All of them. The point I'm making is if say you know kaboom, another empty and South Africa body. We know where we can do worse things. Now what you have to cry we are
yeah.
Say never. Your conscience can be a better. But you're paying for guilty.